In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to send emails in Python. This is particularly useful if you have a database of customers and you want to send them various emails based on their interests. So let me show you how to send emails in Python. Basically, we need to import a couple of classes, one to create email messages and the other to connect with an SMTP server for sending emails. So from email.mime.multipart, we should import the MIME multipart class. What is going on here? So basically, we have this email package in Python standard library. In this package, we have a sub package called MIME. MIME stands for Multipurpose Internet Mail Extensions, and this is a standard that defines the format for email messages. This has nothing to do with Python, it's purely a standard for defining the format of emails. In this package, we have another sub package that is multipart that exposes a class called MIME multipart. With this object, we can send an email message that includes both HTML and plain text content. So when the email client of the receiver receives this email message, if it supports HTML, it will render the HTML content. Otherwise, it will render plain text content. So now let's go ahead and create a MIME multipart object. So MIME multipart, we store it here in message. Now we need to set various headers. So message, we use square brackets to set from. I'm going to set that to Mosh Hamedani. Similarly, we set to. Let's send that to test user at codewithmosh.com. Next, we need to set the subject. So let's say this is a test. So these are various headers supported by MIME multipart objects, but we don't have a header called body. So to set the body, we need to attach it to this message. So this message object has a method called attach that gets a payload. This payload can be text, image, or other types supported by the MIME protocol. So on the top, from email.mime.text module, we need to import the MIME text class. Now to set the body of this message, we need to create a MIME text object, so MIME text, and include our text here. So let's say body. Now by default, you can see the value of the second parameter is set to plain, which refers to plain text. If you want to pass HTML content, we should set this to HTML and pass an actual HTML text here, but I'm going to leave that to the next lecture. So for now, let's just send plain text content. So here we have a mail message object. Now we need to send this using an SMTP server. So on the top, let's import the SMTP-lib module. This module has a class called SMTP. Now here we need to pass two keyword arguments. The first one is host. I'm going to set that to smtp.gmail.com and port to 587. The values we set here depends on the SMTP server we use. Now this returns an SMTP object. When we're done with it, we should make sure to close it to release this resource. So I would prefer to use the with statement and get that SMTP object here. All right. Now, there are a few steps that we need to follow before we send an email. First, we need to call smtp.hello. Well, this is spelled differently, but this is a hello message or greeting to the SMTP server. Basically, we're telling the SMTP server, hey, I'm a client, I want to send an email. And this is part of the SMTP protocol. So the communication between a client and an SMTP server should start with the hello message. Next, we need to call smtp.startTLS. And this puts the SMTP connection in TLS mode. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. With this, all the commands that we send to the SMTP server will be encrypted. Now we're ready to log in. So we call smtp.login. We pass our username and password here. So test user at codewithmosh.com. And the password is today, sky is blue, 1234. Don't try this because I'm going to delete this email account after recording this video. All right, and finally we call smtp.send message and pass our email message object. That's all we have to do. Now for confirmation, let's print send. Save the changes. I'm going to go ahead and run this program. So our email message was sent successfully. Beautiful. In a real-world application, various things could go wrong, so make sure to handle exceptions using a try block. Now here on my email client, you can see I got a message with the right subject and body. Let's take this to the next level. I want to attach an image to this message. So here on line 9, just like how we attach text to this message, we can also attach image. On the top, from email.mime.image, we need to import the mime image class. Now here in this directory, I've put a picture of myself, mosh.png. So after line 10, I'm going to call message.attach, create a mime image object. Here we need to pass our image data in binary. So we need to import our path class from pathlib. Let's import the path class. Now we create a path object and load mosh.png. As you learned before, this has a method read bytes. So this returns all the data in a file in binary. Now let's save the changes. Send this one more time. Okay, sent. Now back to my email client. You see I got a second message, and here's a picture of me.